Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Monday Motivation. I'm your host, Daniel Krakowski, joined, as always, by Goran Vasovic.
What up, what up? And we also got Ryan, and we got this other dude with a camera.
Intern Isaac on the mic, on the camera.
What's the hashtag?
Hashtag Intern Isaac. Hashtag
That's
Join
right.
the Movement.
That's right.
Push it, everyone.
Push it.
Holla.
The new merchandising line, by the way, for hashtag Join the Movement is coming soon.
That's on order.
Where do people get that stuff? Am I just giving it out to people?
So I haven't really figured out how we're going to give it outside of the office yet, but I think we're going to do it via social media because Intern Isaac is going to be pretty much blowing it up on there. Yeah. But for right now, if you come to the office and you say, I want to join the movement, you get a free t-shirt.
There it is.
It's worth $100.
It's worth way more than that for your life.
Right.
For lifestyle.
Right. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Worth millions. Ryan's giving us a skeptical look, but
I know he's how much are
we saw the shot. Yeah. He's like, the t-shirts are $100.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of homeless people looking for shirts.
I'm here to join the movement. Yeah. So what we're talking about today is pouncing on opportunity, and we're coming hot off. What was the deal cycle on this?
We're coming off, or hot off, Daniel's statement saying that we do deals really well, efficiently, and quickly and fast, which is why we get so many deals.
Without using any of those words.
Yeah.
I had to paraphrase a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had to put I don't want to damage anybody's reputation. And why that's important, especially in today's market, because everything is just scorching on fire and hot, and how you have to really just be on top of everything and everyone.
Give me a timeline from the moment you said, "Hey, Ryan, I found this deal," to the time that we've now locked it up. What are we talking?
Well, what time is it right now?
Looks like it's 2:26.
Okay, about 12:45, I saw a property show up and was like, damn, this is the best property that I've seen in months in the multifamily world. It's around South St. Paul. It's actually in St. Paul proper, I learned.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's, we're not seeing anything like this. And I've been looking every single day for the last couple months. So I go, Ryan, take a look at this. You interested in a duplex? Yup. What do the numbers look like? This. Write it up.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I'll call the other agent, say, hey, man, I know we can't see the property until tomorrow. No one can see it until tomorrow. We would like to offer you full price cash. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I know. That's how cool. That's what we're doing right now. So, but nonetheless, so he was like, well, I don't know if sight unseen, there might be some issues. He's like, if you have like an inspection contingency on it, there's going to potentially be some additional issues with that too, where you might tie it up, walk away. I'm like, what if our inspection contingency was till 3:30 tomorrow? He's like, that I think I can sell. So waiting to hear back. He's going to shoot me a text in the next 15 minutes here. If it's a Y, then we'll write an offer. If it's an N, then we'll go see it tomorrow and write an offer.
Right. So what I liked about your story and, how it initially went down is how you just manhandled the objections that you received on the phone and how you made the other agent feel good about what you were presenting.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people would miss that. They're like, oh, maybe I'm being too pushy, or I'm rushing things in, when you really need to do that. But the way you handle those, that's just, I can see that you graduated from Grant Cardone University.
Cardone U.
I like how the listing agent in this example, too, gets to go run back to the client and demonstrate how much value he created in the transaction when in fact...
He looks like a genius.
Yeah, he looks like he really put a great deal together.
We're in the business of creating value, and if we can transfer that to other agents and other people out, it would make you look good and sexy. That's what we want to do.
One interesting revelation that I had pretty recently is our business, we act as intermediaries a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's other businesses that are like this too, but I'm the intermediary for syndicate in this example. He's the intermediary for the owner. And when you're doing intermediary to intermediary negotiation, really, I'm not trying to convince this guy of something because I don't really care what he thinks about it, because he's not the decision maker. He's just relaying the message.
Right.
So all I'm trying to do is give him the tools, the words to say, repeating the same simple phrases over and over again to him so he sticks in his head. So he relays my message over to the seller. I also have to be conscious of structuring everything that he gets to look good, right? I'm trying to spin everything so that he looks like a hero to his client.
Right.
And that's the only way to get this done.
Right, which I think it's, when you're putting it that way, some people might look at it from a negative perspective, like, oh, like, everything. But it's not about that. It's kind of you explaining your position in this transaction so you can paint the picture in its entirety to this agent. Then he can be more informed versus just kind of, hanging up and like, what did we just talk about? And then the message gets even more confusing when he talks to his client. So I love just kind of breaking everything down and giving a lot more context to pretty much a discussion, or in this case, a negotiation. Because once you get that context, you'll be able to, make a much more informed decision.
Yeah, no question. And in his defense, I'm not saying that this agent was mind meld manipulated by me by any stretch of the imagination. He's been in the business for a while too and knew what he was doing. But he hit me back with the same type of stuff where he's said 4 or 5 times, hey, this is going to mess up my weekend if we have an inspection contingency and it falls apart.
Right.
I totally get that. That's why we found a solution that worked for everybody.
Right. No, I have other people that do the same thing, when they're talking to me, and I'm like, wow, thank you for giving me all this info, because now I can proceed, well informed onto my next, whatever decision is going to be. So I appreciate it when it goes both ways, which is why I try to reciprocate.
No doubt.
Right. And I think that the big takeaway here, though, was the speed in which we reacted to the situation, knowing that this was going to be a property that there's going to be a lot of activity on. You got on the horn right away. You offered a creative, proactive solution. You handled all of his objections and got us into the driver's seat in the period of 90 minutes.
Hopefully. We haven't gotten that accepted yet, but that's a good point.
I got the other part of that agreement just now via text message, so we're going to look at that Jefferson property at 315.
Yeah, so we're recording this in the valley of 2 different deals going on. The second deal is a potentially weird collaboration that we haven't really done before.
Well, it's a combo deal, but it's also it transcends from just like a regular brokerage deal to the investment side, which is what obviously we specialize in, and how one deal could potentially feed the other deal.
Right.
And they are not related to each other, or the agents are not the same, but that's kind of how we think, is that we can take 2 deals or 3 deals and see how they can work together. So that's what we got to do. And we have to execute it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt. So anyway, very exciting time. We're all... Intern Isaac is literally falling apart right now. He can't contain himself.
He can't. Do you want me to turn your mic on? Do you want to say something to the old man?
I got to capture the moment and get all this content.
Okay, all right.
That's what a guy.
All right, sounds good. If you guys didn't hear that, don't worry. It wasn't anything significant, but
he's just an intern.
He's just an intern.
For now. Keep your eyes out for real estate agent Isaac coming at you, hopefully this summer.
Well, real estate agent Isaac plus media genius
Chief
Isaac,
Technology Officer.
Chief Technology, exactly. So I told him he's going to be the head honcho, and I'm going to go ahead and put quotation marks, go live in the vault.
Yeah.
Is really the new thing that's going to. Oh, you like that?
I like that.
Care 11 liked it so much they gave me a call. They made relocate as well.
All right. So one component, if we're looking back then at the concept of pouncing on an opportunity, the ability to be able to pounce. There's a lot of people who are probably fresh to real estate investing who either think that you guys are crazy, we're all crazy, or want to do something similar. But I'll pass it out. I think you see where I'm going with this. Like, what is it that gives you the ability to pounce on deals like this?
Ryan?
Well, first of all, we are a little crazy. And I think that experience is really what it comes down to. We trust in the team that we've built in terms of being able to look at a property, analyze it, figure out what it's going to need for rehab. We know that the people who we do our lending with are going to deliver. We know that the people we work on title are going to deliver. We know that we are able to determine what this thing's after repair value is, what it will rent for, all of those things. So having total faith and trust in your process and your team gives you the confidence to move extremely quickly.
Right. And not just confidence in your team, but I think the experience of seeing how many properties have you looked at in your life?
Innumerable. I can't even begin to quantify.
Sometimes we think that we looked at every single thing here in our neighborhood, but obviously that's not the case.
Right.
And we've done it for 5-6 years now, and that's how much opportunity there still is. Obviously, we didn't look at every single thing, and there's always deals. I think other people that are coming in or engaging us, through our business and engaging you to be their real estate agents is kind of what we bring to the table, is that experience, the know-how. So we can transfer not the crazy, but the confidence.
Absolutely. I mean, confidence is something that comes through experience. And
right.
I still recall when you and I first did the Arches Unit 1 some 8 years ago, I had analysis paralysis looking at a 13 cap. And it took me probably 2 weeks of analyzing it to be able to make that decision. And then each subsequent transaction became a shorter and shorter period of time to where I think this would be our fastest deal ever if we end up pulling it off in the course of a few hours. But
it's kind of as easy as going and buying a donut at a store or something like that. That even though it's a high dollar transaction, I don't think the way most people look at it is, since it's high dollar, I need to take months of thinking and analyzing every single aspect. You really should just look at it as any other deal. It doesn't matter the dollar value, so you can kind of get that confidence.
Yeah, and I think too, it's the dollar value is, there is some relevance to it, but if there's a deal that's you pay $1 million for, that everyone with 100% certainty knows is worth $15 million, no one's going to ever hesitate to do anything with that. What I think is really unique is, you both have the experience to be able to quickly assess the value. So
100%
you have that
agree.
Confidence, like going back to what you're saying. And then for someone else, for a client who's less experienced, their ability to act quickly, they may not ever have the experience just because they will never have the number of hours, number of reps. It really then comes down to, going back to what Ryan said again, the trust component. They then need to be working with someone who they have that level of trust with, who's not going to put them in a bad position.
That's why, a lot of our real estate agents, and on business cards we say that you're a real estate advisor or agent advisor, which is really kind of what you want to be to a client that's not in this world on a daily basis. Just like when you take your car in for service, and that you don't need to know how everything was done. You just want to be able to trust the mechanic. They're going to do the job and you're going to get back on the road. So it's kind of the same thing here. We have the know-how to back it up, and we have to work on earning your trust as a client coming in to make sure that you get to execute on these decisions as quickly as we can, because we're your competition essentially. And rather than competing against us, you can actually join us and prosper.
Join the movement.
Join the movement. Exactly. Wow, that came back real nice.
It did. This is a boomerang. Join the movement. It never leaves. Anyway, so yes, the trust component is extremely important, and very rare is it to find someone who's just going to inherently trust you. I think there is a weird relationship that exists between getting the trust of a client, and you really have to educate them. They almost do have to see how the sausage is made, to understand, okay, this is why this person's made all these connections. You need to show them how you got there for them to trust you. But then going forward, they become kind of your champions, the people who are sing your praise the highest.
No, I think that's key, especially in these, again, we're not selling, $100 transaction. It could be, the biggest transaction somebody's ever done, or it could be a couple $100,000, which is why I think what we're doing as far as vlogging, podcasting, and reaching out through social media is a great way for us to connect and basically document what we do so the general public or any potential customers and current customers can see what actually we do, so we can develop that trust when we're sleeping.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Boom, that's a nugget for whoever who is listening and wants to be in the biz.
That's how I got here, basically.
Oh, okay. Sorry I don't have your mic, but Internize said that's how he got here.
Shooting it off, Mike.
I do love the social media is a way of demonstrating our expertise around the clock. And then when people are interested, it's just like the blogs were hot for us when we first started 5 years ago. And I'd write a whole dissertation on, renting your property the right way, why you should do things this way. We'd get calls from people saying, people would say, hey, I read what you wrote. You're in line with me 100%. Let's do it. Now what we've done, we've taken to the next level. We've made this whole thing look super cool and sexy, and everybody just wants to be involved in it now when they see it. And
if you don't know and you're listening to this, Ryan's book, The Secrets to Rent Your Home the Right Way, is actually available for free through SoundCloud.
For free.
And I believe on iTunes. So if you want to listen to it on the go whenever you want, you still can. And it's still a lot of relevant info. And, of course, read by yours truly, Daniel Krakowski, the maestro.
Yeah, just
silky smooth.
Keeping it nice and neat.
Silky smooth. All right. I think, you know what?
I got to go sell a house. So
you have a meeting. I got to go look at a house. And Intern Isaac is going to be just killing on social media.
No doubt. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. We'll catch you next Monday.